This girl's just talking to everybody's ex-boyfriend. We don't even get 2 inches past the door and we get a woo. And like 5 girls just are staring at us. And I have 20/20 vision, so I see perfectly that it's... Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. If you are new here, what's up girl? Welcome. My name is Dakota. I do a ton of content on this video, included but not limited to true crime content, story times, advice. I do a series here called Ask Dakota where you can email me your submission of a question that you may have and I can give you some advice on it, as well as my fellow subscribers will also help you a little bit too. Lifestyle content, all of that. So if that is something you're interested in, girl, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. It is free. Also, don't forget to turn your post notifications on by clicking that bell icon. That way you're notified every single time I post a video here on YouTube, so you can see more of my face every single week. Now, you're reading the title, so you know today is story time. I don't normally do story times on Thursdays, but I figured that the last like 3 or 4 story times that I've done have been kind of heavy, kind of a little deep. So I wanted to just bring back the lightheartedness of my channel and just do a lighthearted, funny ass story time for you guys today. And by the title, you are going to see that this is another Adrian story time. You guys love Adrian story times. If you're new here, you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna leave a playlist down below of all my story times. Adrian is essentially my narcissistic ex. He did a bunch of crazy stuff. He got another girl pregnant while we were together. He dated a minor. He was cheating on me. There was just a lot of mess, girl. And if you need to get caught up in everything, I don't have the time to tell you, so you have to go and look at my other story times to get caught up. But this is the time when I ran into Adrian's ex while I was with Adrian. Shit got crazy, shit got messy. This story time in itself is just, I'm gonna need you to keep up. There's a lot of names, a lot of characters, a lot of mess, girl, okay? So you already know the drill. Get your wine, get your snacks, get your popcorn, get a notepad, because like, you need to keep up, but also you need to take notes on what not to do with these boys, okay? I just want to give a sincere thank you for all of the love and all of the appreciation on my last video. That video was very hard for me to put out, but it was handled with such care and such love and kind consideration. So thank you guys so freaking much for the love and the support on that video, because it just truly meant the absolute world to me to see you guys supporting me and loving me and just going so hard for me. So thank you so much. I read all of your comments, every single one, and they never go unnoticed. And also, by the time I post this video, we are going to hit, actually wait, let's see if we've already hit it. See y'all, let's see. Hold on, let's see. Okay. We're not there yet, but we're here almost at 8,000, okay? By the time this video posts, we are going to be hitting 8,000 subscribers, you guys. From February till now, we've gone from 600 to 8,000 subscribers. I literally have no words. Thank you guys so freaking much. I love you all so much. You guys are like literally my family on here, and I love each and every one of you. I do not look at you as a number. I do not look at you as just some subscriber. I genuinely look at you as like my best friend, my family, and I love you guys so freaking much. I'll never be able to thank you enough for it. And I just like, when we hit 10K, I'm doing like the biggest giveaway ever. So let's get to there. But for now, like, thank you so freaking much for 8,000. Like, I just can't believe this is like my job now, and that I get to call this my job, and I'm not gonna get emotional. We're gonna get into today's story time. Okay, let's go. Time is going to piggyback off of the story time that is labeled Caught My Ex Cheating on Me. And in that story, I basically essentially tell you how I caught my ex cheating, but I mentioned a character named David. Now, David was somebody that I talked to. Okay, so Ryan was the one who cheated on me, but I ended up, before I started talking to Ryan, okay, I met Ryan and I met David the same night. I ended up choosing to be with David, and then later down the road, girl, I chose to be with Ryan. Before I was with Ryan, I was with David, okay? And I briefly touched on David. We didn't really do like too much, you know, explanation as to who he is, but he is a character in this story. Now, there's 4 characters that you guys are going to have to remember, okay? The first one is David, okay? David is somebody that I never was like in a relationship with, but we dated, okay? So I call him, well, I don't call him my ex, but like for this video I will. Adrian is my narcissistic funky ass ex. Olivia is David's ex, okay? What are we gonna call Adrian's ex? We're gonna call her, I'm gonna give her like a fun name, Alicia, okay? So it's going to be Rude. Okay. It's going to be David, Adrian, Olivia, Alicia. David, Adrian, Olivia, Alicia. I need y'all to keep up, okay? So David was somebody that I briefly was dating, and basically I ended up meeting him at the hookah bar that I named Cloud. Honestly, it was called Sky, so I'm just gonna tell you the real name. It's not even open anymore. I gave y'all the real hookah bar name with the Adrian Storytime, so I might as well give you the real hookah bar name with this one. Okay, so it was called Sky. Sky Hookah was a place that like literally everybody went to from like 2012 to like 2014, and after that I got shut down for reasons we won't get into, but it got shut down and we all stopped going there. But so many of my story times take place in this freaking hookah bar, and wow, the people I've met there. So to get into the title of the story, of course, I always have to give you guys a backstory. Otherwise, it's not going to make sense. I like to give you guys details. I like to give you guys the whole meal. I don't like to just give you like a happy meal or a combo meal. I like to give you the deluxe, okay? So that's what we're gonna do today. Just started by saying that I have nothing bad to say about David. Me and David are actually cool to this day. We don't chill. We don't really hang out or talk much, but like he's cool. He's a good person. He's always been nice to me. He's always been really cool. Like I have nothing bad to say about him. But in this story we're gonna talk about some times where he wasn't so great. But that's okay because it's funny. You can look back on it and you can laugh. But we love David. David's a good person. Nothing against him. It's just he's great, but in this story not so much. So David and I met at Sky, and he was the one that immediately talked me out of talking to Ryan. Picking up off that story, you need to go watch it, otherwise this one is not going to make sense. So David basically, when he first found out I was talking to Ryan, was like, he does this with every girl. Like, let me guess, he asked you to sleep over. He barely knows you. He's just gonna trap you. He was like, he's not good news. And let me just tell you that like he wasn't wrong, because you know, along came Ryan and then along came my daughter Aubrey. So if you guys don't know, Ryan is my baby father. It's not his real name in real life, of course. All the names in this story are fake, but all the events are true because you just can't make this shit up. But Ryan is my baby father. So he wasn't wrong about him, but he was the one that basically was like, he is not good for you. Like, I don't want to see you get hurt. Like, you shouldn't be talking to Ryan. Like, do what you want to do, but like, you seem like a good girl. I don't want you to get hurt. And he basically ended up giving me his number that night. Now, shortly after me and Ryan ended things, which what the fuck did we end? We only talked for like 2 days. Me and Ryan talked for like a couple of days. I kind of realized like things weren't really gonna work out, and then I started talking to David. So me and David ended up exchanging phone numbers, and I want to say for the next week we talked, girl, from like AM to PM. So at this time I was unemployed. I had just moved back from New Jersey to Connecticut, and I was like 18 going on 19, girl. I was young. So I had nothing but time. I didn't have a job. This was way before I got pregnant with Aubrey. I don't have any kids. Like, I had nothing but time. So when I tell you we talked from sunrise to sunset on the phone constantly, I am not joking. So just to give like a little description, David was Puerto Rican, because apparently I have a type. My type isn't working. I need to stop. But David was Puerto Rican. He was kind of like short. Like, he's like maybe like a cup. Like, no, actually I think he's the same height as me. And he was like super like skinny. Like super like I was probably bigger than him. My thighs could have like crushed him. But he typically wasn't someone that like I would normally go for, but he was so funny, you guys. He was hilarious. Like, anytime that you were around David, you were gonna have a good ass time. You were gonna have a good night. You were gonna laugh your ass off. He was so funny. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I look at somebody, I don't really see like looks. I see personality. And I have stayed in situations way longer than I should have off the sheer fact that somebody can make me laugh my ass off. And it's not good. It's really bad. But like, coming across people like funny, like you don't want to have your back be broken from carrying the comedy in the whole relationship. Like, you want someone else that compliments your sarcasm, and that was him for me. And I just thought that he was so funny. He was hilarious. He was like so just like lighthearted, and I felt like I needed some more like fun in my life, you know? So that was David for me. We talked like literally for a week every single day from AM to PM. And one thing that I knew about David, because I got to know a shit ton about him, you know, you're talking to someone for basically like 9 hours a day, is that he was very childish. Very childish. And our age gap, I actually have to talk about really quick. I was 18 going on 19. He was 23 going on 24. So we had a good like 5 years between us. So in my head, I'm like, ooh, I'm talking to a grown man. Like, I'm sick of all these little boys. Like, because I honestly am like, people always say like, when I first started working at my daycare job, everybody thought that I was 22. I was actually 19 years old, because people say, like, always say that, like, I look young, but I carry myself older. Like, I carry myself a certain way, I talk a certain way, and like I've always been very mature for my age. Like, I was born 25 basically, right? So for me, I've always been like super mature, super like responsible and things like that. David was like the complete opposite, like completely irresponsible, like not a care in the world, so childish, but like you could just tell that he had like a craving for just like a fountain of youth. Like he wanted to live that young life. He wanted to just go explore the world. He was also a Pisces too, and girl, Pisces and Pisces do not work together. I don't know why I have not learned that yet, but Pisces and Pisces are just not good together. Don't do it, okay? So we started talking about how we wanted to hang out with one another, and I remember this was around the time when we had a really bad snowstorm in Connecticut. So it was like a week after the snowstorm had hit, but it was still like they just completely did not give a crap about my side street whatsoever. I kind of lived on like a side street in Hamden, and like they just did not care about it. They never came and plowed anything. So like everybody else's streets were like plowed, and mine was just like probably up to my knees of snow. So a car could not get past there. There was no way. So he ended up coming to pick me up, and he parked 2 streets over, and this man dead ass walked in 4 feet of snow. Actually, no, I'm over exaggerative. Probably like 3 feet of snow to come to my house, to walk me to my car so I didn't have to go alone. I thought that was so like gentlemanlike and just so nice of him. So he ends up picking me up. I get in the car, and we are gonna go to his friend's house. Now, this house, we're just gonna call it the trap house. Like there was no drugs, there was nothing like that. But like when I tell you that these guys who lived at this house would just have rotations of girls coming in and out, in and out. Like honestly, these girls were like on like a lazy Susan, and they were just spinning it and rotating them. Like, so we end up going to his friend's house, and we're just gonna call, actually no, there's too many names in this story, so we're just gonna call it the trap house. So we go to the trap house, and I meet all of his friends, and it's 2 girls that live there and then 2 guys that live there. So it's like 4 people that they basically got just like one like big ass house, and they all lived there and like rented it and things like that, which I understand because it's a lot cheaper. I'll tell you, like the owner of this house had like 4 girls. Like one was the main girl, one was like the second main girl, and the 2 were like the 2 side pieces, and he just rotated them all the freaking time. And if you listen to my story time about how I dated a narcissistic pathological liar, you guys will know that that's also where I met Adrian. Adrian didn't live there, but he would hang out there, but he would do the same shit. He would have like 2 girls that were just like on a rotation constantly. He was horrible, but we'll get into Adrian later. Now, David and Adrian were best friends. Y'all, I was so messy. I was so messy. David and Adrian were best friends at this time. So that's actually where I ended up meeting Adrian's ass, was at David's friend's house, the trap house, where we all used to go and hang out, just all collectively as friends together. That's where I met Adrian. So they were best friends. Now, David had an ex, and for the sake of this story, we're gonna call her Olivia. Olivia, I did not know her. I didn't know what she looked like. I didn't know how old she was. I didn't know this girl from a hole in the wall. You want to know how I found out about Olivia? It's because one day when I ended up going to Sky with my best friend Tori, I went in with David, and everybody by that time kind of knew that me and David were like booed up. And when I tell you that I walked in and I got a death stare from a girl so hard that I literally thought that my body was like in a microwave. I felt heat radiating all through my body. I am not joking. So I see this girl, and she's giving me like a literal death stare. Like she wants to kill me. Like she hates the day I was born. She rues the day that I ever existed on this earth. I kind of go over at David, I'm like,
oh, hi. Wait a minute. Who are you?
Like, do you know her? Like, what? Like, you guys know the look I'm talking about. The one that you know, like, when you're with a guy, like, that's his ex, or that's a girl that's talking to him or used to talk to him. I'm like, do you know her? And he's like, yeah, that's my ex. And I'm like, why is she looking at me like she wants to kill me? Like, I don't even know the girl. Like, what's going on? Because according to him, they had broken up like forever ago, like at least like 2 or 3 months before me and him started to talk. So they had been broken up for like quite some time. They had like a long relationship, yes, but they had been broken up for a bit. So I just, when I hear that, I'm just like, oh, okay, like you guys probably both healed, went your separate ways, whatever. Like I did not know anything about this girl or like why she just disliked me so much. But when I tell you guys that Olivia hated me, she hated the day I was born. She hated my existence. This girl hated me inside and out. could not stand me. So essentially what ended up happening out is like Olivia ended up finding out that like I was the new girl that was with her ex, and for that reason like she just couldn't stand me. Like off the bat she just hated me, like didn't give me a chance, didn't get to know me, nothing. She just hated me, and I understand why, like honestly, and you guys will find out later. She had good reason to, because there was a lot of things that went on behind the scenes before me and David started talking about that I didn't know. But like you guys know how it is when you have an ex like you're still like in love with, and then like some new girl just comes in out of nowhere and you know starts being with him. Like you're not gonna like that girl, you're gonna look her up and down, look at her sideways. So I understood why she didn't like me. I just wish that there wasn't so much tension whenever we were in the same room, because girl, it was awkward. But I need to just get into like what would happen. Okay, so whenever I went to this hookah bar with him, with my friends, with anybody, she would come into the room and say hi to every single person in the room but me, to the point where it's like she made it a point to let everyone know that like she basically hated me. Like say I'm in a group in a room with like a group full of people, it's like, oh hi peanut butter, hi jelly, hi Tori, hi John, hi this person, blah 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 blah, skips over me. Hi Angelica, hi Katrina, hi Nick. Like literally like she would go down the line, be like hey hey hey, skip over me, give me a dirty look, ew I hate you, hey hey hey, and I'm just like, oh my god, like it would be so awkward. And like obviously it gets to a point where like she's doing it so much that people are like, okay damn, like what's the beef, like what did you do to her, like why does she hate you? I'm like, girl, I didn't do anything. And then it would get to a point where like if she ever saw me, she would just give me like dirty looks the whole entire night, up and down dirty looks, wouldn't say hi to me, wouldn't like just pretend like I wasn't there, but at the same time like would just like give me these horrible death stares, and it got so uncomfortable and I couldn't stand it. And to make matters worse, she actually knew my best friend and her boyfriend, so she would come over and like sit with them and like talk to them and stuff and just like act like I wasn't there, and it was just so awkward and so weird it was just weird energy. So as me and David started to get, you know, kind of closer and things like that, we started to go to the trap house a lot more. We basically would go over there all the time and just hang out. We would play games, we would watch movies. We really did not drink. I have to say, like that period in my life, we really didn't drink that much at all. David and his friends really didn't drink like that. They more so were like super duper duper into hookahs. So every time I went over there was like a hookah being made, or there was a hookah already made. There was like multiple ones going around the room. This was before Corona, obviously. And we would just smoke hookah and just like hang out, like watch movies, like talk shit. Like it was so much fun going there, I do have to say. I actually developed like a pretty close relationship with some of the roommates there because I was there so much. Like the owner of the house that I was talking about that I said had like a rotation of girls, like yo, I'm not even joking, he had this one girl that would come there all the time, and she thought she was like the only girl that came there. And this girl would make him protein smoothies, she would make him lunch, she would drive him places, give him money.
Because today, tomorrow, yes, the next day, and them days after that, period, you probably had the right idea, right, but the wrong bitch. Hello.
And then he had like these other two girls that would come every now and then, but like one of them is the one that he was like actually in love with, but she didn't want to like be with him low-key, so he would have her over, and then she would leave, then he'd have like the main one over, and then the main one found out about the side one, and she like, I guess the side one gave him like a really cute picture for like Christmas or something, and the main one found it and she like destroyed it and like ripped it. It was crazy, okay? There was so much drama. Through like hanging out with him and his friends, I got to know like how guys lie. Like I got to know like what they do, what they say, when they do it. So I honestly learned so freaking much from hanging out with those guys, to the point where now like I know immediately if somebody's trying to run game on me. Like I know immediately because I know how they talk, I know the lingo, I know the excuses. So when I tell you I learned so much, like I'm actually really grateful that I hung out with these people for this period of time. Anyways, I digress. So like I said, they didn't really drink that much. We would just like smoke hookah and stuff. And so one night the trap house decided they were gonna have a house party, and I was like, oh cool, like lit, like this is gonna be so much fun. David was like, yeah, like I want you to come. Hype, I'm excited. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be so much fun. Like I literally haven't gone to a party since like I left New Jersey, so I was just like, this is gonna be so much fun. Like I'm gonna meet all of his friends, like it's just gonna be a good time, right? So I end up going to my house to get ready. He ends up bringing his dog with us, and the dog freaking pisses on my floor. That dog was so freaking cute. I loved it so much. But I end up getting ready, we leave, we go make a couple like stops, like errands, whatever. And then we ended up going to the trap house for this party. Now this party was horrible, like one of the worst nights of my life, and that's a story for another time, but it was just so uncomfortable. Like David was the type when you went out with him that he was just all over the place. Like he would go to this group, then he'd go to that group, then he'd go to that group. He saw his friend over there, and when I'm telling you, we couldn't go anywhere without him knowing at least 5 people. I'm talking about like the mall, CVS, a food place, a restaurant, like McDonald's drive-thru. Like literally we could not go anywhere without him knowing at least like 5 people in the vicinity. It was absolutely insane. He is barely talking to me the whole entire time, and I understood, like at first I was like, okay, like maybe it's because he's just like busy or he sees this person, that person. But then there would be times where like people were playing beer pong and we would be like standing like side by side, and he just like wouldn't say anything to me. He was acting really weird. If things couldn't get awkward enough, in walks Olivia.
No, 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 no. Oh, no. No, 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 no.
I'm just like, oh, this is just great. This is absolutely just the icing on the cake of what I need for tonight, because now I'm be getting death stares from this one. My own man isn't even talking to me. And then now because they maintained a good friendship after they broke up, which, like, you know, whatever. So I was like, she's probably gonna be like talking to him and stuff, and like now he's really not gonna talk to me. And like I noticed that like certain times if we were out somewhere and she was there, like at Sky or anywhere else, that like he wouldn't talk to me, or he wouldn't like be like touching up on me or like kissing me or like really sitting. Like he would like sit next to me, but he wouldn't like hold my hand. Like stuff that he normally would do, he wouldn't do if she was there. And I think it was because, like, you know, some people are like that when their ex is in the room and they don't want to make them uncomfortable, or they don't want to make them like act out. But like I don't have to put up with that. If that's what you like to do, that's fine, but that's not for me. Like I don't care who I'm around. If I like somebody and I'm feeling somebody, I'm gonna make them know that, and not make them feel like weird or rejected or that I don't want to be with them, you know? So in walks Olivia, and I'm just like, oh, freaking perfect. This is just great. I'm like, this night could not get any fucking worse. And my friend Tori was supposed to come, and she did, but she came like way towards the end of the night where like I was about to go home. So like it didn't even matter. So I had nobody, okay? And I was trying to like walk around and like socialize and make friends and things like that, which I was pretty good at doing, but like the girls there just like weren't feeling it. They were kind of like bored. They wanted to go home. Like it was just a whole hot mess, okay? And at one point in the night, like I said, people are playing beer pong, whatever, and it's like me on this side of the table, and then like Olivia's on the other side of the table, and this girl is just giving me death stare upon death stare. Like I've never felt so hated by somebody in my entire life. Like she hated me. And then I see her talking to David, so I'm like, all right, whatever, like cool, like y'all talk, whatever. And then I find out later on, maybe like a week later, that she was telling him that I was trying too hard, and she was like, oh my god, like she's all over you, like why is she doing that, like she's like trying so hard. And it's like, what do you mean? Like that's the person like I'm talking to, like obviously I'm all like, hello. So it's just, it was a whole hot freaking mess, okay? And I just felt so uncomfortable, and I could not wait for the night to be over. My friend Tori ends up coming there. Her boyfriend ends up coming. We take a couple shots, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm ready to go home. Like, I want to pretend like this whole night never even happened. I'm never coming to a party here again, ever, okay? And then tell me why the next day I go there, and we're all hanging out, and one of the guys that live there comes in with a bunch of cleaning supplies, and he's like, who wants to help us clean? I'm not helping y'all clean. Y'all didn't even talk to me last night. And I understood it was because, like, you know, their friends, like, basically there was 4 roommates there, so they invited like all their friends, so they were busy and stuff. But I'm like, you guys see, like, I have nobody to talk to, and you're not even trying to like talk to me. I literally looked at him up and down, and I was like, I am not helping you clean. You guys didn't even like act like I existed last night. I barely even drank last night. I didn't have fun. Like, I did not basically contribute to the mess in this house. Like, I didn't. And the thing is that when I first went there, like a bunch of guys lived there, so obviously the house was like not always like, you know, upkept, because they're guys, they don't know how to do anything. The girls that lived there, the 2 girls that lived there, would always be cleaning, and they were kind of like getting sick of their shit. Like, can you guys replace the paper towels? Can you guys wipe down the counter or something? So I remember every time I went there, I'd always ask the girls, hey, do you guys need help cleaning? Or like, hey, do you need help with this? And like I would help them sometimes like pick up the house, because I was always there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like if I'm always there, I'm not paying rent obviously because I'm not living here, but like I'm gonna contribute, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna help you guys. Like, and then David and like Adrian stuff had no care in the world. They would go and drink all the water, they would like make all the ramen, like they wouldn't replace anything. I'm just like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, you have to contribute if you're gonna be at somebody's house all the time. So it was funny, they had the audacity to say, one of the guys was like, who wants to help clean? No, you go clean. And just, you know what, y'all ignored me last night, so pretend like I'm not here again. I'm just gonna sit on the couch and we'll be good. After that party, I actually cut him off and I stopped speaking to him because I just felt really disrespected and really just like, I didn't like being put in situations like that where I was just made to feel so uncomfortable. And he ended up like surprising me with flowers on my car with like a really nice note, just basically saying that he knows that he messed up and he would like an opportunity to prove to me that, you know, he can be who I want him to be and that he can improve himself and things like that. So my sucker ass took him back and we started, you know, basically just picking off exactly where we left off. So his birthday was rolling around. Like I said, we were both Pisces, so his birthday was like maybe like 2 weeks after mine. So his birthday was rolling around, and like when I tell you I literally had like $30 in my account, I'm not joking. I went from New Jersey, where I was making maybe like $7.25, $8 an hour, to Connecticut, and I went with all the money that I had left in my bank account. Like I packed my car up, my tiny Honda up with, and I had the money that I had in my bank account, and I went to Connecticut. And like I said, I was every single day going to jobs and applying. I was going to tanning salons, I was going to restaurants, I was even going to like those little places in the mall where you stand by like the kiosk or by like the little you know, guys know what I'm talking about, like people who sell things there. Like you stand there, like everybody that walks by, you're like, hey, do you want to come try to... I went everywhere. When I tell you, like, nobody was hiring me because I lived in Hamden. Like, and I think it was because I was looking in like Shelton and Milford and stuff like that. Because I lived farther, they just thought like, oh, this girl's 19, like she's not gonna be reliable. And like I had a car and everything. Like I was like, I will show up to work, like I'm a good worker, just like please accept me, you know. And I only had one previous job because I was at a daycare in New Jersey, and because my experience was like in New Jersey, people just didn't want to hire me, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm so annoyed. I ended up down the line finding a job at a daycare, and I stayed there for like 6 years. And when I tell you the stories that I have from that daycare, I could make a plethora, like a series, a soap opera, a telenovela, if you will, about that place. So if you guys want to hear daycare horror stories, like please let me know because I will make them for you. So I remember like I was with my mom and like I was like, I think I'm gonna get him something for his birthday. I know we've only been talking for a bit, but like I say in all my story times, like if you're in my life and you have a birthday, like I'm always gonna make you feel special. I'm always gonna make you feel like, you know, like I care about you and I love you, and like even if I have no money, I'm gonna make it like the best day for you because that's just how I am. So I ended up going to like Abercrombie, getting him this nice like v-neck cut baby blue shirt because that was his favorite color. And then I went to Lids, you guys know where Lids is, in Milford Mall, and got him like a cute hat with like his favorite football team on it. And I was like, I'm gonna give this to him for his birthday. So I spent like my last like dollars on him. I made sure I had like, you know, like a little something in there, but it wasn't a whole lot. And I was just like, I need to get a job. Like I need to start working, you know, like I need to get another job fast. So basically I spent like my last dollar on him, and I was just like, I'm gonna make this night like so special for him. So we ended up going to Sky, and we ended up just, you know, hanging out, and he's hanging out with me for the good like, you know, portion, like maybe like 30 minutes. And then again, the rest of the night he just goes. He's going into this room and talk to this person, he's going into this room and talk to that person. Olivia of course ends up showing up, and he's like completely ignoring me. And like that was basically like the point where I realized if we are ever anywhere that she's at, and this wasn't her fault by the way, not at all, this was not her fault, this was all him. But I'm saying, like, if we're ever at a place where she's at, he's just not gonna talk to me, or he's just not gonna like be around me, and that's just how it is. And I don't want to deal with that anymore. So when I tell you guys, like, I got sick of it. I was like, this boy is never near me. This boy, like, whenever we're out, he like never is talking to me, and like I feel like I'm putting so much effort and he's not putting any. So when I tell you guys I tried to leave him there, I'm not joking. I got up, I was like, I still had to take my best friend and her boyfriend home. I was like, you guys ready to go? Because I was like, I'm leaving. And they were like, yeah, we'll come with you. So I was leaving. I put my keys in the ignition. I get a phone call from David, like, where are you? What are you doing? Where are you going? And I was like, I'm leaving. I was like, you're having a good time. You go talk to your friends. Do what you want to do. I was like, I'm leaving. And he was like, no, wait for me. I'm going to come with you. So while I was on the phone with him, I was backing out, and he was walking across the street. So I couldn't just leave, you know? So I had my best friend sitting in the front, and I was like, girl, you stay there. You're not getting out for him. I was like, you get in the back. You get in the back. So I drive my best friend and her boyfriend home, and then he gets into the front, and I have not given him his gifts yet. So we're just driving and I'm silent, and I don't care if it's his birthday. Like, I don't care. Like, you literally are making me feel so unwanted and rejected and uncomfortable, and it's just insane. So we start driving, and I start like taking him to his house, and like I'm completely silent. I'm not saying anything. He's like, what's wrong? Talk to me. And I'm like, it's your birthday, so I'm not trying to like, you know, rain on your parade or anything, but I was like, you've been treating me like shit lately, and like I'm not putting up with it anymore. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then I started to explain to him, and he was like, well, you know, if I'm ever somewhere and my ex is there, I just feel uncomfortable if I'm like, you know, kissing on you and touching on you when she's right there, and like I know she still has feelings for me, so I feel bad. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like my problem. That sounds like something that you have to like work through yourself. Like that's not my issue. So we ended up going to his house. I give him his bag. I'm like, here, this is for your birthday. He's like, oh my God, thank you so much. We hug, whatever. He gets out the car, and like I said, I'm just over it. Like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. And there was a plethora of things that happened. Like, he started acting really shady, started doing like weird things. On top of it, whenever we were somewhere where she was at, like I feel like he could just never be like fully like comfortable with me because he felt bad for her, or felt like she was gonna get mad at him or something. And we were young and we were dumb, like whatever, you know, you live and you learn. But I just remember like there was a plethora of things that happened. And one of his friends, his name was Chet, and we're gonna use his real name because he's a piece of crap. That's a story for another time. But his friend told me that one week, 7 days before me and David started to like talk, he was sleeping over Olivia's house. So no wonder why she hated me, because he's like that person where like he has an ex and like he knows that they still have feelings for them, or like they still have feelings for him, whatever, and he won't like do anything with them or like, you know, be physical or anything like that, but he'll still like hang out with them, flirt with them, like sleep over their house, like do things like that. And like that's what he was doing with her. Like he was still sleeping over, he was still like texting her, talking to her, like he was still like really good friends with her. And so for a girl that's like still in love with you, that probably like gave her hope or made her think like, you know, we're probably gonna get back together or work on things. Like I would have thought that way, you know. So, and then when we started talking, he stopped doing that. He did not go over there or anything like that. But a week before, like no wonder why she hated me, you know. So the minute I found that out, I cut him off completely, because I'm like, first of all, you could have put me in a bad situation. If this was a girl that liked to like fight or like, you know, snatch bitches by their weave, like the minute I walked into that hookah bar, she could have ran up to me and done anything, and I wouldn't have even blamed her, honestly, because it's like if my ex was still sleeping over my house and like I had hope that like maybe things were working, and he was probably like flirting with her and giving her like ideas and like planting seeds and stuff, and I saw him walk into a hookah bar with some new guy, I would have been pissed. Are you kidding me? Like, so I completely cut him off. We completely ended things, and we didn't talk for a long period of time. I know you guys are asking, girl, where does Adrian come into play? When do you go and see his ex? Like what, where is the tea? And I promise it's coming, but sometimes tea has to simmer a little bit before you put the bags in, so just wait, okay? It's coming. I'm talking like a year and a half later. This was 2013. So a year goes by, I have Aubrey, you know, I deal with Ryan's freaking just fuckboy self, whatever. You know, I moved on from him. I have my daughter, and you know, some time had passed. So I had Aubrey in like March. August had rolled by, and my best friend Tori's birthday was coming about, and like I had not been out once since I had Aubrey. I hadn't really done much of anything because, you know, I had a new baby now. I had responsibilities. I was getting myself together. I was getting back in school. I had a full-time job now. I was saving up my money. I ended up getting like another car, a better one, and like I was living my best life, okay? I was literally 20 years old, so I was doing the damn thing, and I was improving myself. And you know, my friend's birthday came around, and I was like, you know what, I've been working my ass off. I've been working so hard. Like, I want to go out with her for her birthday. I don't want to miss it. So my mom was like, don't worry, I'll end up, you know, taking Aubrey for you, and you can go out and like have fun. And we planned to go to Sky, of course, because she was turning 20, so we couldn't like really like go to bars or anything like that. So y'all already know, we got our Arizona iced teas. We put, you know, a little bit of Sky vodka, a little bit of Coke in there, mixed it all up, and we head off to Sky. And my plan was that we were going to go to Sky, have a good time, and that we were going to go sleep in my best friend's house after for the night, just because she lived kind of close, and because I just wanted to spend the whole day with her. I love my best friend so freaking much. That is like my ride or die. love her. She's my everything. She watches my videos, so like, hey girl, what's up? So I remember like it was so cute. I literally made her a cake. I made her a cake, and then I made her like these little brownies that had like a Reese's in there with like peanut butter on the top. And I made the cake, and I was like, happy 20th birthday. And I got her these cute little like friendship bracelets, and it was just like, I wanted to make her birthday so freaking special because I love her so much. So I ended up going to her house. It's me, her, my friend Ishan, a couple of our other friends, and we get ready and we go to Sky. So we're going to Sky, you know, we go in there, we get our hookah, we're sitting down and we're hanging out. And like I said, it had been like probably a year and a half since I saw Olivia, since I saw David, since I saw like really anybody. And I hadn't, after me and David broke up, like, not broke up, we weren't even together. After we ended things, I didn't really go to Sky that much. I didn't have a reason to. Like, me and Tori just ended up chilling at her house most of the time. And like I said, I just had a baby and stuff, so like I wasn't going out. So my life completely did like a 360 in that year and a half. So it was my first time going there, and they had just like redone the whole entire place. They got these like new gorgeous floors. They had these really cute like drapes from the sea. It was like in like an Arabian theme. It was so freaking cute. They had these like neon lights that changed colors with the song, and they were like in sync together, and it was just, it looked a lot better than when I had seen it. Okay, so we're sitting down, we're having a good ass time, and in walks Olivia. And for me, like, I don't know if you guys are like me, but like if I had like past beef with somebody, or someone didn't like me, or so like I didn't like them, and it had been like over a year and I saw them, like by that time like the beef is done, you know what I mean? Like we hadn't seen each other in so long. The situation that she didn't like me for had passed already. Like, so for me, like I saw her and I kind of almost forgot for a minute that she that she hated me. So she walks in and I kind of look over and like I see her, whatever, and she goes down the line as usual, like, hey peanut butter, hey jelly, hey Tori, hey John. It gets to me and she says hello. She goes, hey Dakota. I'm like, nice too. Like she was smiling. She was like, hey Dakota, how are you? And I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like I said, like she hated me. So for her, anytime she saw me, she just like skipped the line and never said hi to me. Okay, so she sees me and she's like, hey Dakota, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, hey girl, like what's up, how are you? You look so cute. Because she was so pretty, and like she was a really cool girl, you know, when I got to know her, but we'll get to that. So she actually ends up sitting with us because, like I said, she knows my best friend and her boyfriend. So she ends up sitting with us and like hanging out with us and drinking with us and smoking hookah. And she was a cool girl. I was like, oh my god, this girl's actually like really down to earth, really nice, like just an awesome person all around. So we were having so much fun, literally so much fun. But of course the night came to an end, and so Tori was like, hey, I'm gonna have, you know, some people come to my house, kind of like an after party. Do you want to come? Talking to Olivia, and she was like, hell yeah, I'm down. Like I'll bring my friend with me. She was with like a guy, and they ended up coming to the house. And when I tell you guys, we had so much fun. I have so many memories of that house on East Main Street with my best friend. Like anytime I went to my best friend's house, like we just had so much fun there. I miss it so much. It was such like a young and innocent time of my life, and I have so many stories of like things that we just got into there. But we ended up going to her house and we just had so much fun. So towards one point during the night, we end up having one of those like girl moments, and y'all know what I'm talking about, when you're drunk and you're sitting on the floor and you're just like, you're so pretty. It's like, no, you're so pretty. Like, I love you. No, I love you. Like, it was just one of those girl moments where we're sitting on the floor and we were just talking. And then she ends up bringing up David, and she actually fully on apologized to me, and she was like, girl, like I'm so sorry. Like I know back in the day, like I used to give you death stares and look you up and down, and like I'm not gonna lie, like I hated you, like I couldn't stand you. But she was just like, I'm really sorry. It had nothing to do with you and everything to do with him. And I was like, girl, I get it. Because like I don't know if you guys watched my story time of it's called She Cheated and I Snitched, but essentially it is the story time of how this girl cheated on my friend, and I tried to go tell him, and like it just ended up getting really messy. But the girl that cheated on my friend, me and her were like kind of cool, and she went and talked to my ex Matt, that I was like in love with, and I was so angry at her for that because I still really liked him. Like I remember like how much I disliked her. I mean, I didn't give her like death stares or anything. I kind of just like kept it to myself, but I remember like how much I was like just so upset with her. So I was like, girl, like I get it. And we all all handle pain differently, you know? And we were young and we were just stupid, and I told her, I was like, I understand. If I was you, I probably would have hated me too. And she was like, yeah, but that's no excuse. Like, I should have directed my energy towards him, and like, I just want you to know, like, I'm really sorry. I take full accountability, and like, I wholeheartedly apologize to you if I ever did anything that made you feel uncomfortable. If I was ever a bitch to you, like, I am so sorry. So me and her ended up mending things for the time being. We're gonna get into that right now, but we ended up mending things, and we actually became like cool. And also, like I said, I didn't know that he was like sleeping over her house and like talking to her and stuff a week before we got together. So I ended up telling her that. I was like, oh, by the way, like, also, like, I had no idea you guys were like still chilling and stuff like a week before we got together. Like, I found that out after, so like, I really am truly sorry. So we end up being cool. The whole rest of the night went so well. We were like in the kitchen singing like Frank Ocean. Like, I was taking like my wine bottle and I'm just like singing what's that song called? Like, a tornado came around the room before you came, excuse the mess you made, it usually doesn't rain. And like, I literally was just like, we were having like a karaoke night. It was so much fun. Let's get into the part of why y'all clicked on the video and why y'all came for the story time. So that happened, and then so much time went by. I want to say, like, so that was 2014, August of 2014. So that year comes and goes, and then we are getting into May of 2015. So basically a year passes again. As you guys know from my story time, I'm like giving myself so many shameless promos, but I'm telling you, you have to watch my other story times, or like none of these are gonna make sense. So you guys know, I went to college, I met that Marine Jose, I dated him, things ended up just not working out, and then after that, I rekindled with Adrian because I went to another hookah bar called Euphoria.
Stop it. Get some help.
I walked in, I was there with my best friend too, and I saw Adrian. And me and him started to connect, started to hang out, and we started to date. We weren't official yet, but we started dating. Now, this is where, what did I name her? Alicia. Okay, so this is where Alicia comes in. So I have to put my wine down, girl, because we gotta talk about this. Oh, okay. So when I went to the trap house, like I said, Adrian was there, and Alicia would come to see him. That was his girlfriend, okay? So David's ex Olivia and Alicia were best friends. They used to be like a what do you call it? Not a trio, a I don't know. They used to be a foursome, okay? So like David and Adrian were best friends. Olivia started dating David, and then her best friend Alicia met Adrian because, you know, they would like chill and stuff, and then Adrian and Alicia started to date. So it was like the four of them, like the four best friends that anybody could have. But then David and Olivia fell off, and then, you know, down the road, actually Adrian and David stopped becoming friends. Like I said, they were like best friends, they were like brothers, but they weren't friends anymore. Like shortly after he started to date Alicia, this is the ex I talked about that Adrian was engaged to, which I don't know, but anyway, so they were like engaged, whatever. This is the girl that I was talking about. I haven't really talked about her much. I'm not going to, like, not really too much story times involve her, but Adrian and Alicia were together, okay? So when I first saw Adrian at the hookah bar, we reconnected, they had broken up, okay? So, and meanwhile, this whole entire time, I hadn't talked to David in the longest. We're not even like really like close or anything like that. We would like talk here and there, but we didn't hang out or anything like that. And I hadn't seen Olivia that whole year, basically. I had not seen her. We didn't really talk or anything like that, but we weren't on bad terms, not yet at least. So Alicia and Adrian had broken up, okay? So me and Adrian start to talk, and let me just give you a little backstory about the trap house. When I would see Alicia there, we were friendly, but we weren't friends. Like, I take friendship very strongly. Like, that means like I hang out with you on a regular basis. I have your number in my phone. We talk, things like that. So we were friendly because like her man and my man were friends and stuff, and so naturally we would see each other because of that, but we weren't friends by any sense, you know what I mean? Like, I liked her. She was a really cool girl. I actually loved her. I thought she was awesome. She was so nice. I thought she was way too good for Adrian, but like, she was just a really cool girl, okay? So just keep that in mind. We weren't friends, but we were friendly. So most people would think like, girl, it doesn't matter. When you saw Adrian, that should have been like hands off, or like on, like, you know, like not like off limits because you and his girlfriend used to hang out, but like we wouldn't hang out by ourselves. We'd hang out when our mans were together. So like I didn't see anything wrong with it. You guys are probably gonna judge me, but like whatever, okay? So I see Adrian and we start going on dates, we start going to the movies, we start going out to eat. He's visiting me at my job, bringing me lunch, things like that. So one night he says, hey, let's go to Euphoria together, like just me and you, like without all of our friends. Like I just want to hang out with you. And I'm like, okay, sure. So the plan was that he was gonna pick me up at my mom's house in Stratford because Stratford was close to the place that we were going to. So he picks me up and I get in his car, and I don't know why, but I have a weird feeling in my stomach. And whenever that happens, that means that something is about to happen. A bomb is about to be dropped. My life is about to do a 360. Like something's gonna happen, right? But I kind of ignored it. I was like, whatever. So we're on our way there. We're talking, just like, you know, how was your day? Good. How was yours? Catching up. I hadn't seen him in like a week. So a week, you know, when you're talking to a guy that you like is like 5 years. So we get into the parking lot of Euphoria and we walk in, okay? And let me mind you, Olivia never went to this hookah bar. I never once saw her there. She was always at Sky, okay? And Alicia didn't really go out. Like honestly, even like when me, her, Adrian and David would like all like hang out together, like we were always at a house. Like she was more like an introvert, like a quiet person. She didn't really go out. So I did not expect to see anybody that I knew at this place, okay? We walk in to Euphoria. We walk in to Euphoria. We don't even get 2 inches past the door and we get a woo. And like 5 girls just are staring at us. And I have 20/20 vision, so I see perfectly that it's Alicia, my man's ex, okay? And then I see that it's Olivia, her best friend, who also hates me because I used to date her ex, but then we're kind of cool, but now we're not cool because she sees me with her best friend's ex-boyfriend, and it was just a hot mess, girl. It was a freaking hot mess. I basically walked in and they are just staring at us, and like everybody is just shook because Alicia didn't know that me and him were talking, and neither did Olivia, because why would they? Like we were just talking, dating, we weren't like officially together yet, but I knew that if we did officially get together that they weren't gonna like me. One, because Alicia's probably like, that's messed up because yeah, we're not friends, but like we were acquaintances and like we used to hang out when like our mans were best friends. And then Olivia's probably like, this girl's just talking to everybody's ex-boyfriend. But like it really wasn't like that, but I knew there was gonna be drama just because it's girls, you know what I mean? Like, and I knew Olivia wasn't going to like me because, you know, Alicia, like that's her girl, you know what I'm saying? So obviously like any new girl that her ex is with, like she's not gonna like. So I literally walk in, they're staring at us, but Adrian hasn't noticed yet. And he's talking to his friend over here and I'm like nudging him and I'm like, we gotta go. And he goes, why? And I said, because we got company. And he looks at where I'm pointing at and he sees them staring at us and he's like, okay, so it was nice seeing you, but yeah, me and Dakota are gonna leave. We're actually not gonna get a hookah. Thanks, have a good night, bye. And we leave and we get in the car and we're just like, oh my God, what just happened? And I literally looked at him and I said, they are gonna hate me so freaking much. And he's like, but why? It makes no sense. I said, because as girls, you don't understand, like, girls think that just because they have a conversation with you for 2 minutes that that's like girl code and that you can't talk to anybody that they were with. And I was like, naturally Olivia is gonna hate me because Alicia's her best friend and you're her ex. And he's like, that doesn't make any sense though because you guys aren't friends. And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't matter, it's just how girls are. And shit just got real awkward, real crazy, real quick, and I just could not believe that I ran into my man's ex at the hookah bar and the previous girl who used to hate me. Like, it was just like the worst combination ever. Like, we did not expect to run into them at all, okay? It was just absolutely insane. And I remember I left and I looked at my phone and it was maybe like 15 minutes after we left there and Olivia texted me and was like, oh, so what, you don't know how to say hi anymore? And I could tell it was like a sarcastic, like, girl, I saw you, like, you're not sneaky, like, what are you doing type of thing. And I literally was like, Adrian, what do I say back? And he's like, just don't reply, just don't reply. And I'm just like, it was a hot freaking mess. I could not believe that happened. But long story short, that is a story of how I ran into my man's ex at a hookah bar, and also ran into the girl who used to hate me for dating her ex, but I didn't know that she was his ex, and her and my man's ex were best friends, and it was just just like, if you understood and kept up with this story time, like, go get a cookie. Go get a cookie and a juice, because like, you deserve it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, you like what you saw today, don't forget to give me a huge thumbs up. It really helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. While you're at it, girl, hit that subscribe button. It is free. And don't forget to turn your post notifications on by clicking the bell icon so you can see more of my face every single week. If you're at it, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I'll leave it right here for you guys. Also, all my social media links, the name to my intro song, the link to the lashes I wear, like everything that you need to possibly know is always in the description box down below. But make sure to follow me on Instagram. We go live there every single Thursday. We turn up there, we drink our wine, we talk, and it's just so much fun. It's a good way for me to get to interact with you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, The Millennial Empath. I drop new episodes on there every single Thursday. It's a self-development podcast I created for a safe space for all of us to just be ourselves. So if you would like to follow me on there, I would greatly appreciate that as well. Real quick, today I'm going to do a small business promo. If you guys didn't know, if you have a small business, you can go ahead and send me your things. I will shout you out on a video and on Instagram for free. We want to help out all of our queens in 2021, or if you're a guy too, I don't discriminate. These candles are from one of my very, very sweet subscribers. She is so sweet. She saw that I was like obsessed with candles. I'm a candle connoisseur, so she sent me in a bunch of candles to try, and they are all absolutely amazing. This one is Jamaican Breeze. It literally smells like a vacation, girl. It smells so good. This one is Clean Linen. It just smells like I did laundry. And this one I really like to light on a day where like I deep clean my house. You know, it's not a deep cleaning day unless you light a candle. And this one's Black Ice. This smells just like the car air fresheners, the Black Ice ones. And my favorite, if you couldn't tell, because girl, I'm damn near out, is Libby's Pound Cake. Oh my god, oh my god. So my girl made these because her grandmother, who had passed away, made like the best pound cake ever. So she did everything in her power to take that recipe and put it into a candle to do her justice and make it smell like a pound cake. And girl, when I tell you, my whole family wants this candle, all my friends want this candle. It smells so good. Her business is called Rosie's Heavenly Candles. If you guys would like to follow her on Facebook, Instagram, anything like that, and take a screenshot of this card. This is all of her websites and things like that. I will also leave the actual link to the website in the description box down below, and if you order through there and use my code Dakota15, you can go ahead and get 15% off your order. This is not sponsored. I'm not getting paid for this in any type of way. This is genuinely just to give a small business promo. This is a Black-owned business by a young woman who is trying to save up money for a car and for college. We are supporting all of our Black kings and queens, all 2021 and beyond that period. So guys, please make sure that you go support her. She even gave me some samples to try out. Tea, there's Ocean Breeze, there's Coconut Lime, there's this, oh my god, this banana bread one. Oh my god, it's so good. And then where's Libby's Lemon Pound Cake? This one, the Libby Lemon Pound Cake, oh my god, it's like the pound cake one, but it smells like a little bit of lemon too. So all of these samples she sent me, all of these candles, please make sure you guys go check her out. She was so sweet to send these to me, and the candles are honestly amazing. Please make sure you guys go support my girl. Thank you so much for sending me in all of these candles. Her business is called Rosie's Heavenly Candles, and I'm just so thankful. If you have a small business, go ahead and DM me on Instagram and I can give you a shout out. If you want to send me in your products or anything that you need for me to support you, I got you, girl. I'm actually gonna do 2 post notification shout out because in my last video I didn't do any. So the first post notification shout out goes to Leanne Haddett. She said this was so great, I really admire you. And then my second post notification shout out is gonna go to Lauren Wilson. She said, if you haven't already dropped that skincare routine, my god, with the heart, skincare routine is coming, you guys. I have so much planned. I have like makeup videos, true crime videos, skincare, like night routines, morning routines, vlogs. I have so much planned for this year. I thank you guys so much for supporting me and my channel. If you also want to be on a post notification shout out, which essentially all that means is that you just turn your post notifications on by clicking the bell icon in the corner. It will notify you every single time I upload a video here on YouTube. After you're done, when I post a video, just go ahead and write a comment and make sure that you put done in the comment. That way I know that you had turned your post notification shout out to be featured on my next video. Thank you guys so much for all love and support. I love you guys so much. I cannot possibly put into words how much y'all mean to me, how much you guys just give me a purpose and motivate me to keep going. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.